Is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharp Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. You can call if you want to after the first break, 585 346 3000. You know, this show's always about what affects New York. And I get that. I think it should be. It's a New York-based show. I talk about it all the time. And that's important. So usually I don't talk about national issues. It's very rare that you'll hear me bring one of those up. But I feel like today I kind of have to, because I think it does affect New York State in more than one way. And that, of course, is RFK Jr. suspending his campaign and dropping off the ballot in like 10 states and still running in swing states and, non-swing states, and supporting Trump in those swing states. They may go, Larry, I get it, but New York State is not a swing state. That's true. So there's still going to be, in theory, an RFK Jr. on the ballot. But that's the issue. There may not be. Literally tomorrow, there will be a hearing in Albany to figure out if there will be an RFK Jr. on the ballot in November in New York State or not. They may go, Larry, why do I care? I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. What do I care about some RFK guy? Maybe you don't. But what would happen if he is not? If he is not put on the ballot, New York State at the moment will be the only state in the entire union with no independent on the ballot for president. Let me say it again. The only state in the entire union that will have no independent on the ballot. Now, many of you in New York State are unhappy how the state's run. If you're a Republican, I know you're unhappy because Democrats have run this state for 22 years. Get it? Well, longer, but officially 22 years. And if you're a Democrat, you're also unhappy because they never do what you want, ever. Why should they? They run everything. You should want an independent party in this state to put actual pressure on the ruling party. The Republicans can't do that anymore. The Republicans have lost that ability. They can't do that anymore. So we do have to have at least something here. Something. We need an independent party. Now, you all know I tried. I failed. But not just that. I spent $400,000 trying to get an independent party, Libertarian Party, in 2022. And I lost. I was sued off the ballot by Republicans with laws made by Democrats. So I got the 1-2 punch. Kennedy's trying it too. But here's the worst part. I'm some guy. I'm good looking, but that's it. That doesn't count for much. So I'm some guy who spent $400,000 to get in the ballot. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is a Kennedy. Yes. Our last monarch, King Cuomo II, grabber of butts, mandator of jabs, closer of businesses, he married into the Kennedys. So he's part of the Kennedys. And he spent, in New York State only, $1 million. I'm not joking. $1 million. And in $1 million, being a Kennedy, if he can't make it, who can? Who can? If he doesn't make it, this state is finished. This state is literally a Democratic stronghold for the next generation at least, if not more. I'm being kind when I say generation. It's probably 2 or 3 generations, but at least a generation. That is how broken this state is. So whether or not you want to vote for Bobby Kennedy Jr. or not, You should be for him getting on the ballot regardless, because if it isn't him, it's somebody else next time, or maybe somebody who you want next time. But I must go one step further. If he gets on the ballot and there's an independent party on the ballot, someone can run locally who isn't part of the machine. And if you've been in part in any way of local New York State politics, you know there's a machine. All of a sudden now, you have a shot to break that machine. But I'll give you one step further if you're Republican in this state. If you're Republican in New York State, you know that generally speaking, the Republican Party has given up. You know it. If you're part of it, you know it. But if you have an independent party, that motivates Republicans to go do something. There we go. Can't come in third. Got to go do something. But not just that. You also motivate Democrats who are unhappy, who go, I didn't want this, so I can go jump over and become this independent thing and not be the evil Republican that I've been taught to hate for so long. So now I can do that too. In either case, it allows for better Democrats and better Republicans. It gives options for Democrats and options for Republicans and options for people who just don't want to be part of the system. But we're in trouble. It is possible tomorrow a judge will go, nah, I don't want to. Just because, I don't feel like it. That is what could happen tomorrow. And that bothers me. Michael Larry, well, you're a libertarian. Yes, but I've talked so many times, and some of you got mad at me because some of you hardcore libertarians don't like this. I've said, I am a libertarian, 100%. I wear it on my sleeve. But I also know change matters. And the system has to be broken. If no one breaks a hole in the system, how do the rest of us go through? I say it constantly. This is an important piece. Again, if you don't want to vote for him, don't vote for him. It's fine. You don't have to. But here is my point. If you are in New York State and you decide to not vote for a third party in a statewide election, I'll be very clear. Locally, does not apply locally. It doesn't apply to your local state senator. Does not apply to your, local county executive. Not that. City council. I'm talking statewide. Senator, governor, AG. If you don't vote for a third party, you are literally throwing your vote away. And worse, you are teaching the two parties who have been beating us up. In New York State, it's been Democrats destroying us, ripping this state to pieces. The Democrats have been crushing this state. You have taught them nothing. Taught them nothing. You are going to hear in the coming days, next 2 months, two very important things from Democrats and Republicans. And they're going to be lying to you. Democrats going to tell you, we got to vote for Harris because it's all about a woman's right to choose. If you're a Democrat listening to me, don't listen to that lie. Be very clear. In New York State, there is zero chance, and I mean zero chance, of abortion rights being affected in any way, shape, or form in New York State. Zero. It's a fantasy. Hochul and Democrats use that in New York State because their policies are garbage, because they're so busy destroying the state and grifting, they don't want you to see that. So they go, but abortion, not in New York State. There are some states that may matter. And if you care about that in your state, please vote appropriately if that matters to you. It is irrelevant in New York State. Irrelevant. And they will use it. They say something else. You have to vote for Harris. And you go, but wait a minute, she's going to win this state. Yeah, but we got to send a message. Means nothing. Sending a message is a lie they will tell you to try to control your vote so you'll virtual signal. There's no way Harris goes, wait a minute, I got 60% New York versus 59. I'm going to change my policies. Never happens ever. I mean, she has no policies. But in theory, if she had a policy, she wouldn't change it because 59% voted versus 62% voted. Irrelevant. There is a message. Second piece you're going to hear now from Republicans. Two lies. That's Democratic lies. Here's Republican lies. You don't understand. New York's in play. New York's not in play. I've been telling you this for years. Stop believing that lie. New York's not in play for Republicans, again, in a statewide election. Locally, Republicans win all the time. If you have a good local Republican you like, please support them. They win all the time locally. Statewide, they don't. They cannot. 3-1, Democrat to Republican, and Republicans are leaving our state literally by the tens of thousands. They're leaving our state by the tens of thousands. They're not here anymore. If you are a Republican in New York State, I guarantee you know a family that would have voted Republican that's left. You probably know 6 or 7 families who would have voted Republican that have left. But you know one for sure. I'm 100% sure of that. That's how that works. The next slide they'll tell you is the same one the Democrats will use. They will say, you got to send a message. Nothing will change. Harris is not going to go, wait a minute. 40% of New Yorkers voted Republican. I'm going to change my policies. Again, she has none. But theoretically, if she had some policies, I guess one day she'll have some eventually. She's not going to change because a bunch of people in New York decided to vote Republican. This is not a thing. Don't believe the lies. Believe your actual eyes, your actual mind, your actual ears. That's what matters. All right, Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. 585-346-300 is the number. If you want to call and tell me I'm wrong, you'd be wrong, but you can do it if you want to. Or tell me I'm right. I like that better. I don't mind. Either one. Just give me a call if you want to. I will have those calls and, of course, all your chat. I see internet chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
This is a public alert. On Tuesday, November 5th, New Yorkers will vote on a proposal to amend the New York State Constitution. They're calling it the Equal Rights Amendment. Don't be fooled. It's anything but. This radical plan would change New York as we know it. It could completely erase girls' sports, empower the government over parents, further stripping away parental rights, and threaten senior discounts in housing. We must vote no on Prop 1. Learn more at protectkidsny.com. That's protectkidsny.com. Paid for by the Coalition to Protect Kids NY.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Talking about third parties here in New York State and trying to make that shift into the idea of an independent party to push others to actually be more effective. This is why they push him, right? From that issue, the idea of why would they care? Why would they spend so much time telling you that? Here's the worst part. It's about money. I'm not joking. It's about money. Why would they fight him here? It's about money. Why would Republicans and Democrats lie to you? It's about money. The Republican Party itself, prior to the convention, wasn't doing as well as they wanted to when it came to raising money. Why? Because people were giving money directly to Trump. Good for Trump. He's happy about that, right? But the party also needs money. Of course it does. When does a party raise tons of money? Generally speaking, when they have their big candidates out there. In this case, clearly Trump is the biggest Republican candidate by far. It's not even close. He's the massive candidate right out here. And if in New York State, Republicans don't believe he can win here, they may not give. They may not show up. They may not bring any power. So Republicans have to lie to get you to give them money. I'm not joking. But Democrats have a similar issue, right? Democrats, if they love Harris, because she now is amazing. I don't know if you guys know that. She wasn't a couple months ago. Now she's amazing. They have deemed it so. So people could just give money to Harris, which is great. But the local Democratic Party also needs money. So they tell you, we got to fight this and fight that. They got to play that game so you can give them money. And again, it makes sense. It's logical. It's just unethical. But yes, it's completely logical and legal, by the way. Not saying it's illegal. It's utterly legal and logical, just really bad. And you shouldn't fall for it. That's the point. You shouldn't fall for it. Again, if you have local people who require help, who you want to support, please support them. Locally across New York State, both parties win and lose and go back and forth. I'm talking at a statewide election, a very specific type of election here. Why would you waste your time? Why would you waste your money? It makes no sense whatsoever. In fact, it hurts. It hurts. This is why they're fighting. Here's the next piece. The Democrats and Republicans want your money. Makes sense. What will they use it for? Not here. Not for the candidate they're going to tell you. You think Democrats, Republicans are going to spend any money on advertisements for Harris and Trump in New York State? Why? Why? If they're going to raise whatever, $1 billion or whatever is the number they're going to raise, I mean, more than that, sake of argument, $1 billion. If you've got 50 states, they're going to throw 90% of that into 10 swing states. 0.5% goes into New York State, maybe. And that's just to make sure you don't forget to go out and vote. That's all that is, to make sure you don't forget what day election day is. That's all. But what if Bobby Kennedy Jr. is on the ballot in New York State? What if he decides to put $10 million into New York State? He does that. Now everyone has to act. Republicans now have to drop at least the $10 million themselves to make sure they don't come in third. They can't be beat by him. That would be embarrassing. But I'll give you one more piece you don't know. In New York State, how the party system works, how the Board of Elections work. They can't openly say the Board of Elections is run by Democrats, Republicans. That's just so unconstitutional. They can't say that. So what they say is the Board of Elections is run by the top two parties in statewide elections. Well, there we go. Top two. Well, it's always Republican, Democrat. What if it wasn't? What if Bobby Kennedy Jr. comes in second in New York State? That would mean the Republicans kicked out of the Board of Elections. Now, that would never happen. They would just rewrite the rules overnight. You might go, Larry, they rewrite the rules all the time. That's the norm. They don't like the rules. They rewrite them. I know Michelle Obama said they don't do that. And Michelle Obama is basically the second coming. But no, she was actually wrong. She is not infallible. I know some of you don't believe that, but Michelle Obama is not infallible. She can be wrong. And she was in this case completely. Democrats always rewrite the rules. Republicans too. In this case, they'll just rewrite the rules. But the point is that embarrassment would be too much for them to bear. So they can't have him come in second. Republicans will have to spend money. But not just that. Every time RFK Jr. does well in any way, he embarrasses Democrats because he represents an older Democratic Party, a Democratic Party that wasn't as horrible as the current one is. He represents that, and they don't like that. Democrats like this aristocracy they have now, this we're right, you're wrong, we'll anoint who we want to anoint, you will say what we tell you to say, you will act how we tell you to act, and you'll like it. We will say that freedom and joy is what we're about, even though we're not about that at all. And you'll agree with it, and you'll nod your head, or we'll punish you. They like that. And look, I get it. Aristocracy is awesome when you're part of nobility. Makes total sense. Again, unethical and bad, but makes sense. If I'm the king, I love monarchy. It's when I'm not the king, I'm not so happy. So when they're party aristocracy and all the plebes just shut up, we're good. We're totally good. So why did I bring that up? Because I don't want you to be fooled. I want you to see the value in third parties, in independence, regardless of your specific idea that you want. And here's the piece I'll bring up finally. if you're a Democrat in New York State, are you actually happy with our state and what the Democrats are doing? And the answer is no. You're not. I know you aren't. I live in New York City. Most of the people who are my friends here are Democrats, and they're not happy. The majority of them are considering leaving. I'm not even joking. The majority are. They're not happy. So even though you're a Democrat and Democrats run the system, remember something. The aristocracy, whether they wear the same jersey as you, the blue or the red, they don't care about you. It's obvious. If you're a Republican, I know you're unhappy because the disrespect this state gives Republicans is amazing. How much they disrespect Republicans here. If you're not a New Yorker and you're listening or watching, you may not know, but our last monarch, King Cuomo II, second of his name, grabber of butts, mandator of jabs, closer of businesses, he has literally said, there's no room for conservatives in New York State. His words, said that, get out, don't care. Didn't affect him. If he wasn't grabbing butts, he'd still be governor. Now, a new monarch, Queen Kathy, first of her name, destroyer of the middle class, closer of businesses, jailer of the poor. I mean, she jumped on board. She told conservatives in my state, you should get in a bus and go to Florida. I'm not joking. And she's still governor. So the disrespect that Republicans get in New York, I get why they're leaving. I understand completely how bad this is. So, yes. Let me grab a couple comments if I could from online. Noah Clark says, laughing my A off, King Cuomo the second. Yes, Cuomo was the second of his name. Mario was the first of his name. Andrew was the second of his name. Kathy's first of her name. Correct, yes. That is how it works to be a monarch in my state. And they are monarchs. Please don't think they're anything other than that. So I have to give them names at the end, right? Each one gets like the name. Cuomo, the peaceful or something. But no, I think Governor Hochul isn't finished yet. I don't know what her name will be. She'll be Kathy the something. I'm not sure. Maybe Kathy the grifter. Maybe, I'm not sure. Cuomo probably, because of his ending, he'll be Cuomo the grabber, probably at the end. But he could be killer of grandma. Could be that too. So he could be Cuomo grandma killer. If you remember from the Game of Thrones, it was Kingslayer. He could be Granny Slayer. Maybe. Because he put all those people into the old folks home. Got them all killed. So could be that. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Historians will do a better job than I will. So yes. William says, does New York State still offer write-in options? The problem with write-ins is, as I mentioned before, if a write-in, the problem with write-ins is they're often not counted, and the people locally actually don't know. I've heard more than one time someone do a write-in and then go to the workers at the BOE and they go, can you just pick one? I'm not joking. The worker says, can you just pick one? We don't know how to deal with this. So the worker there, who is either Democrat or Republican, asks the person if they can just pick one. That's how it works here. They're not supposed to do that, but they do. So yes, absolutely. So Mike Voss is watching. Thank you. He says, it's amazing to see how Dems have silenced every voice they don't like while declaring they are protecting democracy. Here is the thing, and Mike, you don't get it. Let me be very clear. To save democracy, you must destroy it. See? And if you anoint our empress, she will give you the right amount of democracy. She knows better than you. She's savvier than you. She is, if Michelle Obama is almost infallible, clearly Harris is completely infallible. So she will give you how much democracy that you need. Why don't we just trust the system, Mike? I don't know why you're thinking for yourself. You're a problem. We have to get rid of you. Just saying. You can't have these free thinkers around here. That's not going to help, all right? Doesn't help the plan. Do you care about the plan? I don't. Larry Sharpe here, who does not care about the plan. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Rochester's most powerful AM station.
WYSL.
27,000 watt AM 1040, FM 92.1, FM 95.5.
Here's the News 10 NBC forecast on WYSL. For tonight, scattered showers and storms will be possible with a gusty shower storm possible as well. A muggy night with a low of 70 degrees. Then as we go into Wednesday, it looks like overcast conditions through most of the day with a few showers and a few rumbles of thunder. Staying on the sticky side with a high of 75. And then as we go into Wednesday night, we'll see some clearing clouds early, but clearing late in the overnight period, low 60 degrees. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Alex Bielfeld on your WYSL stations.
Summer savings and off-road fun continue at Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 6484 Route 96 in Victor. Try these deals. Lease a 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 SUV, only $199 a month for 27 months. With $3,500 down, must have lease loyalty. A 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo L is just $289 a month for 27 months. $3,500 down, must have Conquest lease. Using 2 bonus coupons while supplies last. Choose from 9 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab pickups for eligible commercial business customers and save up to $15,000. Units have slight hail damage. All lease deals require first payment, DMV, taxes, and fees due at signing, 7,500 miles per year. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We welcome Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and Finger Lakes. Visit the most beautiful new vehicle sales and service dealership in the area, Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Now at 6484 Route 96, just east of Victor.
Hi, Tom Hamilton here, President of Hamilton Wealth Management. Both the stock and bond markets have had quite a nice run since the 2008-2009 market crash. We sure don't want to give it all back again. Today, I think we need a different approach to investing in wealth preservation. Hamilton Wealth Management is an independent investment and wealth management firm located in Pittsford, New York. Our clients are successful individuals, retirees, and business owners who don't want to lose what they've worked so hard to save. If you have at least $250,000 in savings and investments, I'd like a few minutes of your time to show you what we're doing differently at Hamilton Wealth Management. So please call our office or visit our website,
Hey, Larry. To me, I can't help but think of the movie Brewster's Millions. None of the above.
That's HamiltonWealthManagement.com. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Open Door Mission is deeply grateful. Because of your generous hearts, you've opened many doors. For those in need to find shelter with respect and dignity. For families who are revitalized with hope and strength. For restored, healthy relationships for those on the road to lifelong recovery. For people empowered with new skills and opportunities. With your continued help, more doors will open. Please go to opendoormission.com.
Today's heat pump systems are a better, more convenient way to keep your home comfortable all year round. They'll keep you cool on the hottest summer days and keep you warm on the coldest winter nights. Plus, these all-weather ductless or ducted systems are up to 40% more efficient than conventional heating and cooling systems. Upgrade to an energy-efficient heat pump system and take advantage of clean heat rebates. Find out more at airquipheating.com.
Airquip Heating and Air.
Join the culinary family as Fratelli's Restaurant in Avon is now hiring for a line cook position. Qualifications include proven experience as a line cook in a restaurant setting. Compensation, $25 to $35 per hour based on experience. Simple IRA plan with up to 3% match after 1 year of employment. Fratelli's Restaurant offers a dynamic and supportive team environment, opportunities for skill development and advancement. Apply online, fratellisavon.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated.
I'm going to come back with an oldie but goodie Cuomo clip. Stand by.
They'll work with you to fulfill your needs. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Avon.
And we have Keith on the line.
Next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
These extreme conservatives who are right to life, pro-assault weapon, anti-gay, they have no place in the state of New York because that's not who New Yorkers are.
See that? They have no place in New York. You guys thought I was making that up. I wasn't. And that wasn't the only time he said it. He said it more than once. That, by the way, for those who don't know, that was our former monarch, King Cuomo, second of his name. Closer of businesses, mandator of jabs, grabber of butts. Cuomo, the grabber. Any case, I want to grab a call if I could. By the way, I'm Larry Sharpe, WYSL Rochester, New York, on Sharpe Way Radio, 585-346-3000. With that in mind, here is a call. I'm going to grab Keith. How are you, sir?
Yes, I think I could say this on the air. And so far as Cuomo, the owner of the station, is titled Dr. Bob Savage gave Cuomo the moniker of Governor Headcase. So maybe that's another, for old Andy there, Headcase. That's from the owner of the station, Dr. Bob Savage. I wanted to ask a question. Have you ever met the singer-entertainer Billy Joel?
No, I've never met him.
All right. The reason I'm asking, I have a book magazine right here in my hand. I got it at the supermarket. It's a collector's edition. Billy Joel. Inside of the magazine, the mayor, Eric Adams, makes a statement. The only thing more New York than Billy Joel is a Billy Joel concert at MSG, Madison Square Garden. That's the subtitle of this. Live at Madison Square Garden. The reason I brought Mr. Joel up, I like to really look at times really keenly at the faces of people who would attend a concert like this, and I really stare at their faces. And I called in with a simple comment: as bad as things are in New York State, just judging from these crowds in the magazine here, even into 2023 and 24. I don't think things are bad enough. These people seem happy-go-lucky, very happy and jolly, and I don't know what it takes for human nature to, you were saying correctly, that large enough numbers of people are stampeding out of the former Empire State, but just judging from these happy faces in the Billy Joel crowds, that's my question for everyone. As bad as it is, I think some people are really still even too halcyon, of course, that they just don't get it. They keep being happy, and things are bad, but human nature allows people to put up with even god-awful things. And I'm just wondering.
Let me cover a couple pieces there. The first one is people always want to be happy, right? I always say this. If you want to make sure that you are employed in the good or the bad, there are 3 industries you want to consider being in. Doesn't guarantee it, but increases it a lot, the odds a lot. Number 1 is government. Number 2 is healthcare, and those often overlap. And number 3 is vice, entertainment. People want to be entertained. They want vice when things are bad. So if I know I can't pay my rent, or I can't, go to college, or I can't do this, but I can go see Billy Joel live, you know what? I think I'm going to go see Billy Joel live. I'm getting evicted anyway. At least I'm going to have a good time before I go. So I think there's a part of that that's true, that people want to be entertained. They want to have a good time. And when times are bad and they want to escape, that's where they go. Many of them now go to video games or other things like that are online. Sometimes they'll go to physical places like, a movie theater or a concert, whatever. So I think people go to drugs, right? Alcohol, whatever the case may be. I think people go there. And recently, there's been a massive increase in women with alcohol problems recently since the lockdowns. So I think people do go there, Keith, even in that time. But there's another piece I want to bring up. People don't change because things are bad. People change because things are bad, and there is hope. And that's the key. There has to be hope. This is why, exactly to my point, why would Democrats smash RFK Jr. so badly? Because he actually talks about what you're talking about, the American dream, happiness, healthy kids, healthy parents. He talks about these things and he provides hope. You must crush the hope so that people fall back into, I'm just going to go to drugs or video games or Billy Joel concert or wine during the day, whatever. I'm going to go to the thing of my choice, the addiction or vice of my choice. And I'm not just going to enjoy it like most people do. I'm going to abuse it because I'm unhappy. And I'm going to do that instead of actually taking action. Does that make sense or not, Keith?
Yes. Let me ask in closing, the government causes problems, and then they show up on your doorstep saying, now I, the government, can solve that problem for you. You just shut your mouth and let us here take over. They cause the problems, and then they show up saying, oh, now we'll give you the fix.
Yes, not just that. They then shame you, Keith, and they say, wait, you don't want us to give you the fix? That means you support the problem. That means you don't want it fixed. That means you're an evil, horrible person. So on top of what you just said, they even shame you. And now you're a bad guy, Keith, because you don't want me to solve the problem.
Well, in closing, I wish libertarians, I sometimes chided you, just what is the platform of the Libertarian Party? And I still get angry at when Mr. Kevin Wilson there just goes on and on and on tangents, and really, to me, doesn't make sense. I'm asking you, final comment, get the libertarians to start answering for the people that we will not create your problems. We're here to help you. We're not like the Dems and the Republicans. You libertarians have got to make a better case for you along those lines.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Keith. I do. So for those of you who actually do care, some of you don't, some of you do. If you do care, you can go to my YouTube page, Larry Sharpe YouTube, and search up in the search bar in YouTube, Larry Sharpe, 8-hour policy. I literally did 8 hours straight, no bathroom break, no food break, and I did 8 hours straight of New York State policy. It is time-stamped. And for those of you who care about the specific issue, I covered everything from education, policing, whatever you can imagine in New York State, I covered it all, and I ran out of time. I would have gone longer, but I was like, 8 hours is enough. That's what we did. So yes, I have lots of policy issues. That's all I talk about is policy. I'm an insane policy geek. So if you do care, Larry Sharpe YouTube, 8 hours policy, watch at your leisure. Listen to it while you're doing dishes or something, whatever you like. I appreciate that. But I think Keith has a very valid point. People do start just surrendering. They just say, why bother? Right? I'd rather go to a Billy Joel concert and enjoy that time, and I can't pay my rent anyway. I'm going to get my car repossessed, but I'm going to have a damn good time before I go. Or I'm going to declare bankruptcy anyway, and I won't be able to go to Billy Joel concert for 5 years. So let me just go now. I think people do think that. I think people sometimes put their head in the sand because there's no hope. We do want hope. I know it sounds that funny Obama hope he changey thing, but to be clear, the last two powerful speakers from the left and the right, movement people, were Trump and Obama, and both gave hope. Whether you lean left or right, you got to admit, the hope and change thing was hope. Make America great again is hope. When you give people hope, they respond. I think both Obama and Trump gave that. Biden didn't really. Harris is trying to with her freedom and joy thing. We'll see if it works. I'm not thinking it will, but I could be wrong. Maybe they'll make it into a hopey changey thing. Maybe they will. Right now, it's not working at all. But hope does matter. That is the key. So, yes. Let me grab a couple more if we could. This is Gene. Gene says, I live in PA. I was told that none of our libertarian candidates were even challenged because they were too busy dealing with RFK Jr. Again, they didn't see a threat. They saw a threat in Bobby Kennedy Jr., but something else. Why would Trump make a deal with Bobby Kennedy Jr. and not Harris? Why not, right? Why wouldn't Harris do it? Here's the reason why. Trump doesn't see Bobby as anybody except another enemy that he has to deal with in the field some way. And he will negotiate however that is, deal if he can, fight him if he needs to, whatever. He's another guy in the field. Democrats don't see that. Democrats see RFK Jr. as a traitor. He must be punished. His type of people must not be accepted. We must destroy him. We cannot bring him back into the fold because then others might do that. And again, the number one thing of the current Democratic Party is you must comply. You must join us. You cannot go out. They did it with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was not some righty. Joe Rogan supported Bernie Sanders. But he went off. You can't do that. You are now a rebel. You are now a traitor. You must be punished and you are now banished. And that's what happened. So that's why they didn't care. Libertarians for Democrats, libertarians are not Democrats. Whatever, do what you want. Bobby's got to be punished. That's a different piece. He definitely has to be punished. John says, the idea that New York Democrats like democracy is laughable. You know, if for those of you who watched the DNC convention, it was literally 1984 like. They just said, Harris is about freedom and joy. Why? Because we said so. But wait, there's nothing in her past that says that. Oh, no. It's that. Why? Because we say so. If the party says 2 + 2 is 5, then 2 + 2 is 5. So if you ask someone, what is 2 + 2? The appropriate answer is, what does the party say? Not 4. 4 is only the right answer if the party says it's the right answer. That's 1984 stuff. You are 100% correct. Edie says, love you, Larry. You're an awesome guy. Oh, thank you, Edie. What a great way to wrap this segment up. I'm an awesome guy, according to Edie. So I'm going to believe Edie. I am indeed this awesome guy, she says. Thank you for that. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York. I will take so much more of the chat. I will grab more of it, I promise. Plus your calls, 585-346-300. All of that after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH. Baseball, hot dogs, and the American flag.
Yeah, we have so many nicknames for Hochul. Peter Vasquez, who's on the hour before you, he calls her Hocus Pocus. Bob Savage calls her Governor Holcomb
At the Veterans Outreach Center.
or Bucky Beaver.
Here, by placing our nation's symbol on the porch of every house in our community, the Stars and Stripes flag store.
I call her Governor Hopeless.
Rochester, or visit eflagstore.com.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply.
Yeah, and it kills me. These electric school buses are going to cost like $400,000 a piece when you can get a diesel one for like $160.
Tuesday through Saturday, Avon Gun.
Exactly. Yep. Stand by, phone ring.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18. Regular or gluten-free.
Yep, I hear you. We have Roger.
$75.75. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery in Avon.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. It is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you're giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. Absolutely. We have some other names for our governor here in New York. Fred says, I call Hochul Jokel. That's kind of cute. Some people call them hokum. That's good too. I love those. A lot of cool names. So Gene says, without hope, people give up completely. Yes, absolutely. She's totally right. We have to give them hope. That's the biggest issue, 100%. I want to grab the call if I could. This is Roger. Roger, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
All right. So here's the thing. It takes money to move, and people don't got it. Unless you got family in another state. But then, from what I heard, then when you go down there, let's say, like most of the people I know is moving to the South, and when you go down
South
there,
is common.
Your family sees you coming down there, and they want to leech off you because they think, oh, you're coming from New York with a bag full of money.
Yes.
So, that's what I've been hearing. You know what I mean? It's like, yo.
So let me touch that piece. This is a valid point, right? And I warned of this years ago. I said to people, if we don't fix this, and it's when the lockdowns first started, I said, if we don't fix this, people are just going to pack up and leave. To your exact point, Roger, some people can't afford to move, but they're destitute, they're broken. So they sell all their stuff and they pack up and leave. Whether they have a house, whether they have a mortgage, whether they have a lease, they just leave. And a year after the lockdowns, the New York State government website had a thing on it called, I'm not joking, zombie houses.
Yes,
that's what they call houses that people just left. It's terrible. You're totally correct.
Another call on hold.
The other half of the problem is not just government in and of itself is bad, but you also have to take a look at the donors. You know what I mean? Just like corporate cannabis, how you was talking about how they're closing down all the pot shots because, they're doing it at the behest of corporate cannabis so they can monopolize
100%.
the state. You know what I mean? So, but here's another point. But to Keith's point, though, saying get libertarians, another political party to save us, I say unless those libertarians are running for state legislature in both chambers to get a legislative, to force a vote on a legislative amendment put on the ballot that we'd ratify into the New York State Constitution, allowing us to place our own amendments on the ballot, we should seriously consider stop depending on politicians to get it done for us. We do it instead.
No, I agree completely. And to be fair, when I ran in 2018 and when I got ballot access, in 2019, we had 107 local victories libertarian. So we were starting that. We didn't finish it, obviously, but we were starting that already in 2019. And that's when in 2020, the Democratic parties decided to destroy our party so that we couldn't do that. I think you're exactly correct. Roger, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it, brother. Look, the reality of it is he's right. We have to keep going. It can't just, the top of the ticket has the best chance for press, but the least chance for victory.
Craig from Clinton.
The ticket has the best chance for success. So we use the top, in this case, RFK Jr., in the case of New York State, to get people now to run locally to make the impact that Roger's talking about. Let me grab another call if I could. This is Craig. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Larry?
What's going on?
Well, so kind of to get to the bottom of the whole break through the system sort of a deal, and Kathy keeps coming up. So I know she's been making a big deal about affordable housing lately and how it's so expensive to live in New York and how she's going to spend a bunch of money to build affordable housing. And so I was in one of my favorite places this weekend up in Keene, and I know you've been through Keene on your North Country trip. And so you know that there's 12 people that live in that town. I mean, I exaggerate, but and that it's a bougie tourist place. And what is in the middle of the town but a big state-funded housing development project, which is obviously not helping the people that she says it's supposed to. So it's just another example of, hey, here's this problem that I'm going to fix, and we're going to spend a bunch of money, but really she's just handing out jobs and programs, and it frustrates me because it's everywhere. I can't even take a vacation in the Adirondacks, and there it is.
I completely agree. This is an idea where I would rather virtue signal and spend more taxpayer dollars than create an environment where things work well. This goes back to Keith's issue when he talks about the government fixing things. People do have problems and people need to be helped. The problem is we've destroyed the community answer. And we saw during the lockdowns how many communities have forgotten. They don't have the institutional knowledge to support their communities. They rely only on government. But community can do a better job, because when you are in trouble, the first thing you need is not a government program. I mean, you might need one after time, who knows? But the first thing you need is someone who cares. Government can't care. It's impossible. They put you in a box and give you the services that come out of that box. Whether you're fixed or helped doesn't matter. You've been given services and they're done. I completely agree, Craig. Thank you for the call, brother.
Thank you. I hope people wake up and realize that they don't care.
Yes, they don't. Whenever you add government, you by default remove community. What government should be doing is focusing on growing community, so that when people fall down, when people make bad decisions, when people are in trouble for whatever reason, community can step up and help. And that now that community depends upon itself and they begin to pay it forward. The problem is when it's a government organization, it's faceless. It's just the thing. It's just, I deserve. I have my right. It's just that only. I'm going to take. It's faceless. It doesn't matter. I don't even want to pay it forward. But when it's community, you want to pay it forward. And not just that, who is going to know better? Your community knows what you need better than government does every single time. So Sonia reaches out and she says, hey, Sonia, how are you? Good seeing you. She's out there in Western New York. I'll also be leaving once my kiddos graduate. I wish that was uncommon, but it's not. In New York, particularly upstate, but all around, you find people are waiting on one of three things before they leave. Number one, their kids graduating. That's one of the number one issues. Once the kid graduates, the college and or high school, depending on the kid, they leave. Second thing, they retire. They got a nice state pension or whatever. They wait till they have to retire. They pack up and they leave. And the third thing, an elderly parent. They have an older parent. That parent doesn't want to leave or can't leave. To Roger's point, they can't afford to leave. People got stuck here and they can't afford to leave. So what happens? They stay until they pass. And then once they pass, family packs up and leaves. My mother died in South Carolina because she couldn't afford to stay in New York State. She couldn't retire here. So she left and went to South Carolina. And the second part that Roger didn't bring up, which is true, if you don't have family in Virginia or South Carolina, wherever, you leave your family here. New York State's so broken, it breaks up families. What a terrible way to end this show. No, we have hope, guys. Vote third party. Make some impact. Change this state. If we stop them here, we can stop them everywhere. Guys, thank you for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all very soon.
All right, great